Philly in the Big Game is brought to you by our friends at Spicer Brothers Construction, R&L Irrigation, the Leanne Wilkinson Group, and De Palma Dental.
Hey there, everybody. Bill Mich here in Minnesota for Philly in the Big Game. Obviously, we've been out here all week long covering the Super Bowl, but while we were out here, we figured we'd get away from the game for a moment, check out some of the sights and sounds of the area. We stopped here in St. Paul at the Como Zoo, and that is Buzz. Buzz the polar bear. Pretty awesome, enjoying a meal right now. Buzz, he is very used to this cold weather, unlike myself. I am not suited for -7. You know who else might not be suited for -7? Our Andean bears back on Delmarva, Chaska and Pinocchio. I know it's probably cold there right now, but not -7. Now, speaking of Chaska and Pinocchio and the Super Bowl, we figured we would put our two Andean bears to work and see who they think is going to win the big game on Sunday.
There's a little bit of work that goes into preparing a Bears Super Bowl picks, and they didn't mess around at the Salisbury Zoo. Chaska would be choosing the Eagles or the Patriots by choosing her food that would be placed inside a white or a green box. Pinocchio would be getting a big morning popsicle with some frozen fish inside. One popsicle was green for Philadelphia, the other would be a mix of red and blue for New England. Before the picks, their food had to be prepared, including some bear food, fresh fruits, and Pinocchio's favorite, avocado.
He's very good at peeling it.
Really?
Now, Pinocchio and Chaska are still not living together, and the zoo has put up a sign to help visitors be able to tell who is who. But now, it was time for some football picks. The Eagles and Patriots boxes were placed inside up on a log, giving Chaska equal access to both. Chaska makes her way towards the boxes and initially goes right over to the Eagles. She checks it out and moves on. Then over to the Patriots box, gives a sniff, looks inside, and walks away. She was thinking it over, who to pick, and she came over looking for advice, but I had to stay unbiased. Then a moment later, she makes her move. Chaska thinks Tom Brady is going to pick up his 6th ring in Minnesota, thinking the Patriots will top the Eagles in Super Bowl 52. But the Super Bowl predictions were not finished because it was Pinocchio's turn. The keepers set up his green fish popsicle for the Eagles and the red and blue fish sickle representing the Patriots. And now it was time for Pinocchio to come out and make his pick. Here he comes, considerably larger than Chaska and ready to let Delmarva know who he thinks will capture the Lombardi Trophy. After thinking it over for a few minutes, Pinocchio, well, decides to head back inside. But Pinocchio knew he had to make a pick. He returned a few moments later with a renewed football energy. Now, the leftover peanuts did cause a bit of a distraction, but once Pinocchio was refocused, he was ready to make his pick. He spots the fish sickles, walks over, and plops down in front of the green one. Pinocchio has faith in Nick Foles to lead the Eagles to their first Super Bowl title. So Chaska and Pinocchio, one popular local bear couple, is split down the middle on Super Bowl 52. And after Sunday, someone is going to have some bragging rights around the zoo.
Now back here in Minnesota, Buzz is not the only cool animal here at the Como Zoo and Conservatory. These puffins were hamming it up for the camera when we stopped by to say hello. The penguins, though, they were not super interested in us. However, the sea lion was definitely trying to make his way on TV. The Como Zoo and Conservatory is actually the second most visited attraction in Minnesota. The conservatory right now is decorated in purple and blue, the Super Bowl colors, and so are their flowers. And these displays placed very well at the annual Winter Carnival in St. Paul. Speaking of that carnival, we stopped by to check out the ice palace that's built there, using 4,000 huge blocks of ice reaching more than 70 feet into the air. The ice palace located in Rice Park, which was opened in 1849, making it older than even Central Park in New York. And when it comes to Minneapolis, you can't go far without seeing Prince. This display was in the heart of the outdoor NFL Super Bowl experience, and not far from Prince is another very popular photo location, the Mary Tyler Moore statue, the show based in Minneapolis. And of course, course, the #1 attraction in Minnesota, without a doubt, the Mall of America. It's the largest mall in the United States with more than 500 stores and overrun with Eagles fans on Friday. But not only can you shop in the mall, there are plenty of things to do as well.
Now, of course, we came to Minnesota to cover football, but when you come up north, when it's this cold, it's really hockey country. And of course, inside the mall, you can take a shot at a goalie. So we figured we'd give it a shot. Almost had it. Now, we want to say a quick special thank you to the folks over at the Salisbury Zoo who went above and beyond to help us out with our little piece with Chaska and Pinocchio. So for Philly in the Big Game, I'm Bill Mich for WBOC News here in Minnesota.